Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Absolutely Not podcast. I'm your host, Heather McMahan. How are you? Hope you're doing great. I have one of those sinus pressure headaches that's behind my eyes where it feels like my brain's about to shoot out through my skull. So, other than that, we're doing fantastic. I'm also starving, haven't eaten yet. So, really just coming in hot. But what is going on? I made one of the biggest sacrifices I think I've ever made. Yesterday, I flew 4.5 hours cross country, and I gave my mom my upgrade, and I sat in 3060. And I have not been in the back of the plane in quite some time. But you know, God says when you pay it forward, it will also come back to you. And I got to sit next to a rare breed of a puppy. This lovely couple from Valdosta, Georgia had just picked up this very interesting dog. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull up what the fuck this breed was. I Googled it. Hold on. It was fuck, I don't have it. Okay. I thought I would have had it. It was like a a wiry German Shepherd meets like a Malinois. I don't know, but the puppy was 8 weeks old. And this sweet couple, I'm sitting in the back. You know, Robin, it was a completely full flight. We were all number 1 and 2 to get upgraded to first class. But Robin, I bought her ticket last minute, so she was by the shitter. So I said, Robin, you've only got about 20 good years left on this earth. So I put her in my seat and I sat back in 36D. And honestly, I just needed some peace and quiet. But from my seat at the back next to the toilet, I could hear Robin listening to her iPad with no headphones on. So I was honestly glad to have gotten the break. And I sat next to this lovely couple who had this adorable angel puppy who did not make a noise for 5 fucking hours. But I forgot about the sassy attitudes. There's sassy attitudes in the front of the plane, and there's sassy attitudes in the back. So this couple is sitting next to me, and I'm in the aisle. They're in, the middle and the window. And I mean, we're in the back, dude. It's only 38 rows on this plane. We're in 36. So everybody back there should be holding hands, hanging on together, hoping that our seatbelts don't fucking fall apart, okay? I mean, I literally at one point could have put my arm out and just held the lavatory door closed because it was ajar half the flight. But this one older woman comes back. And we realized that the nice couple with the adorable dog should have been in A and B, but instead they were in D and E. All right, honest mistake. They still had 2 seats. This woman comes down and she's like, I'm supposed to be in E. And the lady was like, I'm so sorry. We are already here. You know, your seatmates over there are already over there. Do you mind sitting in B? Either way, this woman had a middle seat. And when I say she got that lip and it curled up, and it got stuck on the top of her gums. And this woman literally snarled at my seatmates. Now, you know me. When it comes to traveling, I say it's not worth it. People are insane. Just smile, say, okay, thank you, and keep going. But I said something to this woman. I go, ma'am, regardless, you're in a middle seat. And she said, well, my daughter could have sat next to me. And I said, that's impossible because you have 2 men sitting next to you. So no, your daughter couldn't have. You're the last person to get on this flight. You're sitting in fucking B as opposed to E. Shut the fuck up. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not wanting to sit next to you. I want to sit next to the cute, very rare breed dog. All right? Because that's going to soothe me when we feel all the bumps and butt tickles being in the back of this plane. And if this lavatory overflows and we're covered in feces, I hope it hits you first. That was the attitude I had. And I watched TikTok. Okay, I had a moment. This girl in front of me read this book from the moment we took off. I mean, we were on the jetway or the taxi. We were taxiing for like 45 minutes. This lovely woman, probably about my age, read a book for 4.5 hours. Do you know what I did for 4.5 hours? I had movies downloaded. I had ebooks. I had everything. I watched TikTok for 4.5 hours. I got the stop. You've been scrolling too much 7 fucking times. I didn't stop. I didn't try and watch a movie. I was laughing my dick off, holding this little puppy in my lap for 4.5 hours. And I said, God is good. Okay. And I did have one of those moments where I looked at this woman. I go, wow, she's still reading. Wow, she's still reading. 3 hours in, the bitch is still reading. And I wanted to congratulate her on, reading that much of her book, but then I didn't want to sound like a fucking idiot because every time I start to read, I just fall asleep. It makes me tired. So I just said, I'm going to let this be an inside thought. I'm going to keep this to myself and just admire her from the row behind and say, wow, she read for 4.5 hours. And I just let my brain seep out of the left side of my skull by watching TikTok for 4.5 hours. But that algorithm may get you. I mean, I was anywhere from like political TikToks to I'm watching this man owns a bunch of land in West Texas and everyone's moving on the property, but there's no water and everyone's like fighting for their life for survival. Then I'm on Parisian fashion TikTok. I've ordered a beret and a Cezanne bag. Like at one point I was looking up antique wallpaper. I'm not a wallpaper person, but apparently I ordered 6 rolls. I mean, I was just keeping myself occupied in the back. But if I don't get Daughter of the Year award, I'll be upset. I really will. And Robin still gave me a lot of lip this weekend. And, and I didn't appreciate that. Did I want at some point for someone to recognize me and be like, Heather McMahan, what are you doing back here? Oh my gosh, what are you doing back here, girl? You're a star. No one on the flight knew who I was, not even any of the Delta operators. I thought surely a flight attendant's going to come by and go, girl, we saw what you did. We saw that you sacrificed and put your mom up front. You're such a good Samaritan. Here's free champagne. No. They were hawking those fucking chicken salad sandwich boxes at me. And I'm like, you know how many free drink coupons your girl has with her diamond status? You know what? I should have bought the people next to me drinks, but they had to drive 3.5 hours after our 4.5 hour flight to take their new puppy home to Valdosta. No one recognized me. Nobody patted me on the back to be like, you're a great daughter. So instead, I'm an idiot. I just suffered in the back when I could have put Robin in the back and, she could have let everybody listen to her iPad back there. But anyways, I took one for the team, and at no point did anybody say what a good person I was for doing that. So now I am coming to y'all for validation and letting you know, I deserved a pat on the back. Okay? Thank you. You're welcome. Here we go. What have we been doing? What is going on? I was in California for the World Championship of Horse Racing, which was very fun. Saw my friends at America's Best Racing. Saw my friends at West Point Racing. We had a blast at the horse races. Saw a bunch of our friends out there. Ran into my dear friends Beth and Price. They own Mill Ridge Farm in Lexington, Kentucky. If you've never been out there, it's absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. And they're in the horse biz. So I was around a lot of horsey people this weekend. It was nice. This is one of those horse races where they say the surf meets the turf because the ocean is in the background. And I'll tell you what, San Diego, we got to talk about San Diego. I can't wait to come back and perform in San Diego. It's always one of my favorite shows. But the food scene is incredible. The hospitality is insane. We did not have a bad meal while we were there. And I want to give a shout out to 2 restaurants in particular. Mabel's Gone Fishing, phenomenal San Diego seafood with a touch of like Spanish tapas. Absolutely unreal. They had an incredible wine list. And I think, where was the other place we went to? I think it was called Cucina Urbana. Amazing Italian spot, great pizzas, had one of the best chopped salads of my life. Tuna tartare was amazing. Had a gorgeous Sicilian red wine. Just really and truly the food and bev scene in San Diego, I think, is fantastic. So want to give a big shout out to everybody down there. I could live in San Diego. It's vibes. You're an hour and a half, 2 hours away from LA. You're by the ocean. Del Mar is beautiful. Encinitas, I think that's how you say it, is beautiful. It's just, all of it's gorgeous. Carlsbad, it's just cool. There's surfers. It's less pretentious than LA. I could be a very big SoCal girl. And also, you're near Tijuana. So if you want to hop across, get a little filler Botox for half the price, veneers, do what you got to do, and then you're back at having a nice chopped salad before the sun goes down. I mean, it's prime location. Hold on. But yeah, I'm kind of exhausted today because it was a long journey across country for a quick weekend. You forget. I haven't been on the road touring in a hot second, even though we have been doing a lot, and you forget that flight, across country for 24 hours will fuck you up. But want to give a big shout out too, because restaurants is my hobby, to the Houston's on West Paces here in Atlanta. We landed at like 8:30. I called them. I said, we can be there in 25 minutes. Can we have the last seating? We're dressed a little casual. Put us in the back. And let me tell you, Maisie, who is one of the managers over at the Houston's on West Paces, deserves a raise. She got us in. We got our another tuna tartare, a spinach dip, and a burger, and a glass of 8 Years in the Desert, one of my favorite Orange Swift red blend red wines, and we were out of there in 35 minutes. So, Maisie, if you see this, Houston's Restaurant Group, Hillstone, I love you. I don't know why. I'm just really want people in the restaurant industry to know that I support them. And when you see me, I see you. We see each other. You slide me into a booth in the back. You got that spinach dip ready, hot on the table. You know my order for drink. It's either going to be a margarita, no salt, tahini rim, a nice glass of a red blend, or an Aperol Spritz light on the Aperol. I'm very easy to please, And I just felt like it really came together at the last minute. I call my people. When I called up to that Houston's, I said, hey, it's me. We're skeeting in, and we pulled into that Houston's, Jeff, Robin, and I, in the Tahoe on 2 wheels. 2 fucking wheels, like, because we had to get there before the kitchen closed, and we made it. When this episode comes out on Wednesday, the election will have happened, and you'll either know whether or not, this is all I need to say, you'll either know if America hates women or supports them, and you know where I stand on that. And it's so interesting because I hate the vitriol and the hatefulness that has come from politics these days. It used to be, remember when you were just a regular Democrat and a regular Republican, and yes, you didn't see eye to eye, but you didn't have to worry whether or not women would die if they had a miscarriage. It used to just be basic things on the table. It used to just be basic things on the table. You never had to worry about constitutional rights. You never had to worry about whether or not democracy was going to actually be an issue. And that is why I very openly voted for Kamala Harris and encourage my girls to do so as well. And I don't know how it's going to turn out. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping that in the state of Georgia, we won't have to track our periods and such, but you don't know. You never know. So when this comes out, I'm praying for the best. But I also just want us to get back to a place where people can have an honest conversation without it being just so unbelievably hateful and crazy. And if you saw the DMs I got from some Trump supporters, man, it would freak you the fuck out. And I mean, it is crazy. Because I have never treated anybody that way. And it is just really wild. So I am rolling up my sleeves right now on camera out of sheer anxiety, because I don't know where we're going to be. But man, it would be nice to see some female representation. I'll tell you that right now. And you know what? To anybody who said, and again, I know we're all exhausted by this, but to anybody who said, oh, well, what if Kamala Harris do as vice president? I'll tell you what. Mike Pence, who was Trump's VP, absolutely denounced him. So there you go. Okay, fantastic. I've just had it. I've really had it. I can handle the crazy DMs. I can handle the threats. I had one woman, because I'm going to the Ole Miss game this weekend. This is also how crazy it is. This one woman sent me a message because I posted online. It's like, hey guys, seeing if anybody's selling their tickets for the Ole Miss game. This woman was like, we don't need you in Oxford, Mississippi. This is Trump's country. And I'm like, ma'am, I own a home in Oxford. I'm a homeowner. I pay taxes in Mississippi. Shut the fuck up. And also, this will be the first bitch who will see me in the Grove and want a bite of my pimento cheese dip. And you know what I'm going to say? Come on in, because I'm friendly. Ya bitch. Ay, ay, ay. But yeah, so if you are ever sliding to my DMs in the next year and you ask the question, Heather, when are you going to have a child? Hope you voted for my rights. Okay. Anywho, let's see. What is going on? Nothing. I just have a lot of sass and attitude. But we had a great time in California. We traveled. We got a lot going on this week. I'm so excited to be in Oxford, Mississippi for the Ole Miss game. That is going to be fun. You know, all them Georgia Bulldogs are going to be out. But hopefully we can all get along and have a great time. Because, you know, Georgia and Ole Miss, to me, in the SEC are the most similar schools. I'm just saying. Like Athens, Georgia is a damn good time, and so is Oxford. And I feel like out of the SEC, Ole Miss and Georgia fans have always been the classiest of the bunch. Definitely not them Bama or Florida fans, okay? But I'm hoping that it's going to be a damn good time. You know, listen, I'm pulling for an Ole Miss win, but if they don't, I'm still going to have a great time. You know, I'm still going to have a cute outfit on. And we are sitting in enemy territory. I do believe I have seats in the Georgia student section, so we will see what happens. But I'm hoping that everybody just gets drunk and has a great time. What else is happening? You know, it's a weird week. I'm trying to be optimistic for everybody, and I know there's plenty of people who listen to this podcast who I'm sure don't agree with me on politics. But you know what? I hope that I've always been a champion for kindness, and I'm not even going to try and sugarcoat this and sound like Ellen, okay? But I hope you know that, like, where I stand. And the fact that some of y'all have been like, I can't believe it. I can't believe she didn't vote for Trump is wild to me, is actually wild to me. I did a whole special about IVF and how hard that was. I talk about women's shit all the fucking time. So I don't know what to tell you. But I've been feeling super anxious about all of it, just because it feels like everything is still so wildly unsettled. But you know what I have been doing in the meantime? Looking at where I want to go in Italy next year for vacation. Think I want to book a trip to Sardinia. Just saying. So if anybody has any tips and tricks on the good old Sardinia, please send them my way. Let's see. What else? I'm kind of rambling. I don't have much to say because my asshole is clenched this week. Announcing new tour dates. I know I said that 2 weeks ago, but we are announcing a tour. Now, when you see this tour, you're going to go, Heather, I don't see more than 10, 15 dates on this. We are still adding them. We are obviously focused on the cruise. That is our big moment next year. You can still get a couple cabins left at heatheratsea.com. And then the new tour is about to kick off. It's going to be, you can get those tickets at heatherontour.com. And I'm so excited to be out on the road. I'm so excited to see y'all. We're hitting some big markets. And then if you don't see your city, we will absolutely be hitting that, I'm sure, late summer, early fall, and going into the next season. You know, we're always a year ahead. So before everybody, I'm already anxious about everything, but before you get anxious about this fucking tour and like, I don't see Boise on there, pump the fucking brakes, okay? Relax. We're going to get to it. But we are going to be announcing that very soon. And I'm so excited. And listen, I have the best job in the world. I'm here to make you fucking laugh. We're going to giggle. No matter what happens, we're going to be together. We're giggling. We'll take our tops off. You know, we'll bust down Tatiana and we will fucking laugh our dicks off. Because that is my job. My job is to make you giggle. Let's get into the voicemails. I want to hear what you guys have been up to. I want to hear what your absolute knots are. I mean, because we could be in a spiral of just, you know, just absolute sheer panic for the rest of our lives, but we're going to get into the positive. So, as always, you can call into the hotline 800-213-7503. Let's get into the voicemails and see what you guys have been up to. Okay.
Hi, yes, good morning. Is this the Emy Submission customer service line? I'm on your website and I'm trying to find where to submit an episode of a podcast for consideration. It's Heather McMahan's Absolutely Not podcast, specifically the Halloween episode, or It actually could be the entire catalog, really. And if you're not a listener, I'm not really sure what you're doing with your life. Not here
Period.
to judge, but it deserves an award. It could also be maybe a Grammy for Best Comedic Performance or something. I'm not sure of all the options. I don't really work in the awards department. But I also need to get pointed in the right direction of the networks because they have been sleeping on this bitch for far too long, and I'm speaking as a fan. I've had a fucking enough. Anyways, I'd appreciate a return phone call. Love and light.
Period. And that's on God. And I just want you to know that that really puts some honey in my tea today, baby. I'll tell you what. I too agree that there should be more awards handed to me for the critical, podcast journalism that I have done. I really appreciate this voicemail. This has definitely hyped me up. Because I'll tell you what, some days when you're sitting back in 36D, you just kind of look out the window, the sliver of what your seatmates will give you, and you think, what is this all for? I appreciate this. I don't know who else I could send this to. Things I could be nominated for. I mean, do podcasts get awards? They should. Podcast awards. What kind of awards? Like People's Choice? You know what? If everybody who's listening to this could just send a tweet to the People's Choice, I don't know, maybe the Grammys, I will find out how you can blow up my ego more than it has already been blown up. I would really, God, I've got acid reflux today. I could get a Peabody. All right, hold on. Here it is. Awards for podcasts. I could get a Peabody, a British Podcast Award, a Webby Award, an EMMYS, a Shorty Award, Parsec Award, or just, the People's Choice. I think the People's Choice and the Peabody Award would ideally be two nice trophies that I would love to be able to display behind me on one of these racks. Would be fantastic. So thank you for that. My God. It's nice to hear that I'm finally appreciated for all that I've done. Let's talk about the Halloween episode last week. I did the entire episode as Robin. I haven't had that much fun doing an episode in a minute, and I'll tell you why, because it was so freeing. And I miss doing characters, and I really want to bring my characters back and start doing them. And I keep saying that. Oh my God, you guys, it's just... I have been pulled in 55 fucking different directions in the last 6 months. And sometimes you got to get back to your roots of what originally brought you joy. And it is putting on a wig. It is playing somebody else. It's razzing my mom. And that is also why I'm so excited to get back on the road, because I just want to see y'all's faces and smell the back of your necks and look through your little Chanel purses and receive all the weird gifts you give me that have little cameras in them, so you can spy on me when I'm in my dressing room. I miss you freaks. I miss you weirdos. I want to giggle. I got to start wearing wigs on the road again, like getting back into what brought me joy, which was absolute sheer silliness. But if you didn't listen to last week's episode, I did the whole episode as my mother, Robin McMahan. And she is so cute. She's probably listened to the episode no less than 25 times since. She's watched on YouTube. She's listening on her iPad. She's listening in a Mercedes. She thinks it's fucking hysterical. And I'll tell you what, Robin has some thick skin. And I think that's probably where I get it. Nobody loves a roast more than Robin McMahan. And I feel the same way. You come for me, bitch. I can take it. Let's fucking go. But that was really freaking fun. Robin's crazy. Y'all, okay, here's the deal. Let me tell you what's going on with Robin. Took her out to the horse races this weekend. Thought she'd meet a couple zaddies. I said, Mom, go out there. And she had such a cute outfit on. I said, but you got to work the room. You got to find one of these guys who's, it's a very international crowd at these horsing events, which is cool. I'm like, Mom, go find a hot Spanish zaddy who's got like a house in San Sebastian on the North Coast. And he's got a farm with some beautiful horses. And that's what you need. You need a guy who is worldly, who is traveled, who has access to a boat. Like that is the kind of vibe you need. And we were working the rooms, but unfortunately, a lot of those guys were there with their 30-year-old girlfriends. And, Robin got approached by a couple guys, but we did not walk away with enough numbers, or I'd say, her type of man. So I'm still taking her to these events, but y'all, traveling with Robin was so unhinged. First of all, the woman packs one pair of underwear and she washes her underwear with a bar of soap in the sink. I don't know what it is, okay? I don't know what kind of like childhood trauma this stems from. If she's old enough to have been on the Oregon Trail. I don't know what's happening, but Robin, literally, she carries the tiniest fucking suitcase. And we had to bring like nice clothes. So she's got a suit jacket, pants, heels, the whole thing. Like you get dressed up to the nines for these events. Robin's carried like 2 thongs, the same bra, 1 sweater, and she's dressed to the nines the whole weekend. The bitch is suited and booted to get on a plane because she's old school travel where you never got on a flight in like a pair of ratty jeans or sweats. Oh, no, 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 no. It's not how Robin McMahan rolls. But she should have just had a stick with a red bandana tied on the back, and that would have held her goods, her wares, her luggage. She brought 4 things. She had a carry-on bag, but hey, wants to be hands-free, so made me check her carry-on bag, which was the size of, again, a small lunchbox. And, Robin's in line and has no spatial awareness. So she's getting on the plane with me, doesn't know how to scan the boarding pass because we're all together. She's riding everybody. Like if you're on the jet bridge and, it gets hot in there and everyone's kind of stacked up, Robin is breathing down the neck of the guy in front of her. And I'm like, Mom, give the guy some space. Mom, back up a little bit. And she's like, Heather, quit bitching at me. Heather, quit bitching. And I'm like, Mom. And then I got to quit saying Mom. So then, when I turn into Robin, back up. Robin, quit. Robin, that's not your seat. And I just felt like I was a 4th grade teacher constantly trying to get her to stay in line all weekend. And then eventually at one point I had a glass of wine and I said, I can't do this. I can't ride her. She's just going to do her thing. Why am I trying to control this wild stallion? I compare Robin to the horses in the wild. You can't control her. She's almost 77. She's a Sagittarius. She has red hair, for fuck's sake. She's got a tiny waist, a perfectly sized foot, and an attitude of joy that will just put a smile on anyone's face. Were there many moments this weekend she was rooting for the wrong horse in front of the owner? Absolutely. But I just had to let her neigh into the wind. I just said, I finally put my hands up and said, I got to quit controlling her and riding her ass and being like, don't do that. Sit down. That's not your seat. And just let her fucking live. And I know that if my mom does ever eventually find a boyfriend, she needs to be with somebody who's going to let her freak flag fly too. Because I found the right guy. Jeff lets me be fucking wild. And anybody who's out there listening, if you're looking for love, you need to find somebody who's going to let you do you. But all weekend, Robin was just, huh? Who? What? Huh? What are you saying? Huh? It's like she doesn't want to pay attention. And then when she misses very vital bits of information of a story, it's a, huh? Who? What? Huh? So Jeff and I have this theory. We said, Mom, we do think you probably need to go to an audiologist, okay? We do think you need to get the ears checked. Is that what an ear doctor's called? Yeah. An audiologist? Okay, an audiologist. I don't know why when I say that, it sounds odd. But anyways, we said, we're going to pick the ear doctor. You need to go get your hearing checked, okay? Jeff shook her hand and said, I'll pay you $1,000 cash. $1,000. If you go to a doctor and then they say you have no hearing loss. I'll pay you $1,000. Prove me wrong. And I will pay you $1,000 cash. She's like, fine, go in next week. And he's like, no. We're going to pick the doctor, but you'll be on the phone when we pick the doctor, so there's no shady boots business about it. But we're going to it. We don't, Robin is such a fucking Boston scammer. You could never just send her to a doctor's appointment. She'd have her friend Nicole forge papers. Like, trust me, these boomers are scammers. But she'll do anything for cash in hand. That bitch will do anything for cash in hand, I'll tell you what. But all weekend, huh? Who? What? iPad, full blast. And I'm back in 36D just sucking down a white wine and about 14 Biscoff cookies with this rare breed dog in my lap, just cackling at TikToks, drowning it all out. But Robin was just full throttle all weekend. But that's what it's like when you travel with your parents. But you know what? I feel blessed that I get to travel with her, because one of them is dead. Okay, let's get to the next voicemail.
Hi, Heather. This is another Heather calling from San Diego. Actually, I live in Del Mar, and I saw that you were in Del Mar this weekend. And I'm so sad I didn't see you, but I'm so happy you got to come here and have fun. I love living here. Anyways, my absolutely not. I need your opinion on if this is an absolutely not to me or an absolutely not to brunch. So I realized this morning I'm not a brunch girly. I've realized this for a long time. And I'm supposed to meet my friends for brunch at 11. But when I wake up, I have to eat immediately because of my blood sugar, because of being hangry, and I have to eat enough. Like, I can't just eat, like, half a breakfast. It's really hard. And then I'm not hungry again until, like, a late lunch. And I don't know why. That's just how my body works. I'm usually not hungry till, like, 1, 2, sometimes 3 o'clock. So when we do brunch at like 11, I'm not fucking hungry. And I already had breakfast. I don't want lunch yet. I'm not a brunch girly. And is this an absolutely not to me or an absolutely not to brunch? Like, can we pick if we're going to go out?
Okay. All right. I'm stopping this voicemail. First and foremost, I'm not a brunch girl either, but I have different reasons for why I'm not a brunch girl. The fact that you went into the timing of your feed, you broke down your feeding times. I mean, I'm exhausted. I'm starving right now. I'm doing this podcast on no nutrients right now, and I'm already getting frustrated about it. Here's the thing. I do agree with you. I'm not a brunch person either. It's always at a weird time at like a noon. I get up, I make a protein shake and a cup of coffee, and that pushes me forward. The reason I don't like brunch, if I start drinking mimosas at 11 a.m., I'm just sleepy. When I day drink, I just get sleepy. I don't get turned up. I'm not a, wake and bake girl. I am a night owl. My favorite time of day, you take me to a happy hour, and I feel like we may have talked about this last week. Happy hours are dying, okay? It is dying. You know what? If I was running for office right now, what I would bring back? The fucking happy hour. Nobody does happy hours anymore. Remember, you used to get out of work or get out of class and like that 5 o'clock, you'd show up, you'd sit your ass at a bar, you were nice and drunk by 7:30, and then you took your ass home. That was primo. Having a glass of wine at exactly 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock, to me is just absolute perfection. So I'm more of a happy hour girl. Don't invite me to brunch. I'm a slow riser. I also don't like brunch foods. First of all, I'm really hot and cold with eggs. And on top of that, everything has a fucking hollandaise sauce on it. And I like a hollandaise, but I don't like a hollandaise. Why are you forcing me to eat a runny egg with some sort of hollandaise sauce that has the consistency of absolute semen? I don't want it, okay? It always comes out too runny, too cold, too frothy. I don't like it. So absolutely not to the hollandaise. And when you're doing a hollandaise, you're just adding about 10,000 extra calories over the eggs Benedict. It's too much, okay? And forget it. You give me something with a sausage gravy on it and then expect me to like go shopping afterwards? No, I'm done for the day. Put me down. Put me the fuck down. Tuck me in. I can't even make it from my car to my house. Just tuck me in the Audi, in a little, cozy in the back seat and let me sleep it off. I don't like French toast. I said it. I said it. I'm a pancakes and Belgian waffle girl. Never understood the French toast. Never did. And when you go to a brunch spot and it's share plates, I don't want to share. I don't want to share. I want to have my own side of pancakes. I want to have whatever non-eggy dish that I've ordered, and I want you to back the fuck off. And I'm usually hungover, which means I don't want a mimosa. I want a Mexican Coke, very specifically from the bottle, over crushed ice and 2 Advil and maybe a Dramamine. So I'm with you. I don't brunch. And it's loud, and if there's a DJ at a brunch, for fucking get it. And I know I sound like a party pooper, but you don't understand. A DJ at a happy hour fucking hits every time. It hits every time. You get to the happy hour, maybe they have a nice little playlist going, and then about 7 o'clock, if a DJ shows up, now we're talking. You're easing into the evening. But if it's, 10:45 in the morning, and I've got to be in direct sunlight, sitting outside on a porch somewhere, smelling eggy dishes going by, I cannot. Also, I like happy hour, better lighting. Better lighting. I'm just saying, you look a lot better at 5 than you do at 10, period. But you bitching about, whether or not you got to eat a full meal before the meal. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Go have a Bloody Mary and shut the fuck up. The world's on fire, okay? Oh, my God. Let's get to the next voicemail.
Hi, Heather. This is Kelly from BFE, Illinois. I have been a listener from the beginning. I have seen you on both your tours, and I can't wait to see you again. I'm not honestly sure if this is an absolutely not or an absolutely yes, but I went through a Taco Bell drive-thru the other night on my way home from work, and the girl working the window, the drive-thru window, had on a pajama set, and the shirt said, "I heart sluts," and the pants said, "I heart sluts" all over. Like, this girl's at work, dealing with the public on display in this outfit. So, I just can't imagine. I'm a nurse. I can't imagine showing up to work in anything remotely close to that. But also, maybe kudos to her that she has a job and she doesn't care what other people think. So, anyway, it just made me laugh. But love and light. Can't wait to see you again. Tiramisu, bitch.
Tiramisu, thank you so much for calling in to the Absolutely Not line. I love sluts too. So I say absolutely yes to this pajama party at the T-Bell. Now, is it a far cry from, my pleasure, Chick-fil-A? Yes, it is. I don't know when was the last time you've been to a Chick-fil-A, but when I tell you that crew working the drive-thrus, and when the lunch rush is happening, they're out in the field. So they're working. They're not just behind the glass. They've got, 15 employees running that drive-thru. They've got the bucket hat on, the reflective vest, a nice orthotic sneaker, the red shirt, the red polo is tucked into the very unflattering khakis. Belt is nice and perfect. I have never been to a Chick-fil-A and had somebody come up to my window and I have not seen a pure, perfect RuPaul's Drag Beat. I mean, some of the makeup looks at the Chick-fil-A by me is just unreal. I have asked for tutorials if the line is long. Give me your Instagram handle. Show me how to do a winged eyeliner. I have been wildly impressed with the looks and the professionalism coming out of my local Chick-fil-A. But let me tell you, if I rolled up to a Taco Bell and I got a Gordita Crunch Wrap and a Baja Blast with a gal whose pajamas said, "I love sluts," I'd be like, yeah, girl, me too. She may have been called in at last minute. You got to say thank you for showing up. Thank you for feeding us. Thanks for feeding the fatties. We're out here starving. So good for her. It just lax. It's a little more lax over at the T-Bell than it is at the Chick-fil-A. But you got to know, it's like when you roll up, you never know what you're going to get. You're going to get deliciousness, that's for sure. I mean, I love sluts. She's getting right to it. And who doesn't love a slut? As long as she's not slutting it up with your man, I say go for it, girl. Men can go out and whore themselves around, and we just call them a fuck boy. But guess what we still do? We still fuck them. But a woman does the same thing and automatically it's a negative term. Well, I'm sorry. I just I don't see it like that. I love sluts. I remember one time when I was in junior high, I got a shirt. Remember when you go to Abercrombie? All right, remember when you go to Abercrombie and you get the tongue-in-cheek t-shirts and you don't know why your parents ever let you buy them? And I got a shirt because I had just gotten boobies. I had no boobs and then I had just gotten boobs and I had a shirt from Abercrombie. It was a red t-shirt and it had two mountaintops right where the tits were and it said Twin Peaks. And I remember I got that once I filled out a C-cup bra and I walked around the mall like I was a baddie, you know, just, slim, thick baddie, okay? And I thought I was such a bad girl. And I walked around that food court and I, went past the Panda Express and was like, hi, boys. And they were like, no, she didn't. And it was actually creepy because I was like 15 and the guy running the Panda Express was like 45, but I was flirting, baddie. So I say, as long as she's showing up to work, I don't give a shit what she's wearing. So I think I love sluts, so should you. But also, let's Google, where do we get I love sluts pajamas? Maybe we read it wrong. Oh, no, there's a full, hold on, what is this? I Heart Sluts, I can't even talk today. I Heart Sluts lounge pants for $24.99. You can get them at where? Spencer's. Dude, remember Spencer's for the graphic tees? Hold on. Let's look at their top sellers, the top sellers at Spencer's. Dude, going into Spencer's when you were like 15 was so much freaking fun. It was so much fun. Not only would you get your band tees, but you would get like bad girl tees. Okay, let's see some of these. Oh, there's a t-shirt you can buy at Spencer's right now that says, don't bully me, I'll come. Great. Getting that for Jeff. That's fantastic. Wait. Of course, now at a Spencer's, everybody remembers you could get your Slipknot gear, your corn, and I never hung out with a Slipknot kid. I never had a boyfriend that went through a Slipknot phase or a corn phase. That's just a whole nother breed of dudes. That was not for me. Now, I've been a chameleon. I've worn a lot of hats in my life. I did the OAR, Dave Matthews Band, Jam Band for a while. I went Vans Warped Tour. I went full pop princess with the Spice Girls. I had an NSYNC phase, but I never had a corner Slipknot phase. Ever. I had a Pearl Jam phase, but Korn and Slipknot was like, that's a whole nother type of boyfriend. You know what I mean? Those were the guys who got the tongue ring before the girls got the tongue ring. And they never recovered from that. And you and I both know that. Okay, hold on. We're looking at some novelty t-shirts at Spencer's. I'm so glad Spencer's has come back into our lives. Okay, just want to let you know, these are a couple of their novelty tees. So you can order for your husband today, Don't Bully Me, I'll Come. You can also get the t-shirt, Who Ate All the Pussy? That's fantastic. Let's see. What are some other? Boats and Hoes, another great one. We've got a whole set of Who Ate All the Pussy, which is fun. Micro Penis President's Club, or Micro Penis Club President. I love that. That's fantastic. Oh, there's a shirt that's got two arrows. One arrow going up towards the throat, one arrow going down towards the crotch, and it just says two-seater. You get that because you can sit on both. I love this. These are fun. Big Dick is back in town. Of course, we've got our gentle PG I Love Boobs t-shirt that always is a hit at a party. Okay, now these are getting a little interesting. I'm the nicest asshole you'll ever meet. Let me tell you what. If you ever meet a man with that t-shirt on, just run the other fucking direction. You know where they were January 6th, and it was not at home whittling wood, okay? Oh, my God. I love this one. We've got adulting, and it has 5 stars, but only 1 star is illuminated. It's bullshit, all lies, not impressed, would not recommend. Oh, that's great. Like a Yelp review. I mean, my oldest phrase has been, I'm not a gynecologist, but I'll take a look. And that's because I love a novelty tea. I saw that on a t-shirt years ago. I think I was in like Gatlinburg, Tennessee. A place where you really wouldn't think that you'd find a grown man in a t-shirt that says, I'm not a gynecologist, but I'll take a look. But I'll tell you what, if I don't stop every time I see a novelty tea and think, you know what? God, I miss Spencer's. And usually the kind of guy who's wearing one of these novelty tees that says like, bully me, I'll come, is usually a guy named Spencer. We all know him. None of us really liked him in high school, but damn it, if he didn't sell everybody drugs. And that's why you kept Spencer around. Definitely a president of the Micro Penis Club, but damn it, if he didn't have the good weed. That's fantastic. I miss the store Spencer and I miss the guy Spencer. Just looking for a couple last novelty teas here. What else do we have? I mean, I remember when you would go to the Spencer store and you had to like sneak out. Whenever we do a class trip to the mall, like if you won your science team won an award or some bullshit, you got to go to the mall for lunch when you were a senior. Like that was the big deal. And they would always tell us, you can't go into Hot Topic or Spencer's. And I was like, watch me. And we'd be in our school uniforms and we'd be tearing up fucking Spencer's. Dude, they've got solid Sublime t-shirts, Nirvana. Oh my God, it doesn't get better than this. It's nostalgic. But yeah, a guy named Spencer was always the guy who wore the Spencer's t-shirts and sold the drugs. And that is just who he was. And he wasn't ever going to change. Oh, I love going down memory lane. Let's get to the next voicemail.
Hi, Heather. This is Michelle from Orlando. I'm calling with some life advice. I'm in my mid-20s and have a big girl job now. So wondering what some budgeting or not budgeting hacks you have for us. I love to spend but also need to save. And doing both while adulting is difficult. So what advice do you have for any gals that have recently came into a great job or that have some money and want to treat themselves and love to shop, but also need to save? Great. Love you. And can't wait to see your tour dates. So if you come to Florida, Tiramisu, bitch.
Tiramisu, bitch. What a great voicemail. All right. You're getting advice from your Aunt Heather. And here's my number one thing. Real talk. Do not live outside your means. All right. I'll tell you what. I'm so excited about this new job that you're having, and I know you're like seeing that cash in your bank account for the first time. You're like, hell yeah. You don't now. I'm not telling you not to go buy nice things. Enjoy yourself, but don't live outside your means. Okay? The dumbest thing I would see is people living way outside their means. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. One, when it comes to designer goods, buy them at the outlets, girl. You'll spend less money, and I know it's a little bit of girl math, but you'll spend less money flying to Italy, going to the outlet, getting yourself a bag than buying it wherever you are in Florida, okay? Also, I mean, listen, does anybody know the difference if it's real or if it's fake? And I'm not saying don't buy the real thing, but also, does anybody know the difference? You know what I mean? Does anybody know the difference? They don't. Big girl budgeting. I always say you need, $5,000 cash in a shoebox somewhere, but be smart about it. Don't put it in the freezer. That's insane. But don't strap it to the mattress. You should always have at least a couple $1,000s cash because you never know what's going to fucking happen. I mean, shit, when this comes out on Wednesday, you may need to get that cash and just, hit the road. I don't know what's the fuck's going to happen. But always have a couple $1,000s cash somewhere important. Listen, this is what you do. Take the cash. Put it in a tampon box. Tape it to the bottom of a Tampax box. Put it underneath your sink. No one's going to fucking look there. And then glue all the tampons, down. Just put them down, like put the cash in an Altoid tin can in the bottom of the tampon box. No one's looking. You know what I mean? No one's going to look there. But don't put it under your mattress. Don't put it in the freezer. Don't put it where these guys are going to find it. Maybe have a book sitting next to your bed that's, the history of Susan B. Anthony, and then cut it out and put the cash in there. How women can rule the world, put that on the coffee table. No one's looking in there. If you're a guy and you're breaking in, you know what you're not going to do? Stop to sit and read about the wonderful women who helped found America. You know, they're not going to read the biography of Betsy Ross. That's where you should hide your rainy day funds. Period. That's exactly where you should hide it. Get a bunch of female-forward coffee table books and then read them first, of course, and then cut out a hole in them. Rip out the pages, and then that's where you keep your cash. And nobody breaking into your house will ever look there, bitch. Because if they didn't take the time to vote for women's rights this week, then they're definitely not going to take the time while they're robbing you blind to sit on your couch and read about all the great things that Susan B. Anthony and Betsy Ross did for this country. But big girl budgeting. I mean, make sure you pay your taxes too. That's a thing. They'll always sneak up on you. I don't know how you're getting paid, whether you're 1099, whether you're W-2, but always just make sure you're paying your taxes. Two people you need to be afraid of in this world, the IRS and the mafia. If you don't piss either of those off, you're Gucci. What else? I talk a big game, but I live pretty sensibly. I do like to spend money on vacations. That is where I spend my funds. But, I was sitting in 36D this week. So I just want everybody to know she's a humble queen, okay? It was only out of necessity. But what else could you be budgeting on? Hold on. Put a little lip gloss on. When it comes to buying or leasing a car, if you got your own business, I think probably lease. Cars lose their value. You don't need to have the shiniest, fanciest car. I mean, my mom sideswiped my car last week. It's got paint all over it. It needs a detail. I love my car, but now it's a 4-year-old car. You know what I mean? You don't need the newest shit. You don't need it. Also, people who live very flashy with a lot of shit usually have no money in their bank account. So I will say, save your funds. Take yourself on a nice trip every year. Maybe buy yourself one nice thing. You don't need all the newest shit. There's too much shit. And also, I don't know what size you are, but if you're my size, send me a DM and I will just send you all of the clothes that I wear for stuff. And then I can't wear it after I've worn it once, which also feels wildly wasteful. And I'll send you this shit. I mean, it's a sisterhood of the traveling sequin dress at this point. That's what is also bullshit about my business. The amount of money that I spend on like outfits for shit. If you knew, it's insane. Guys can wear the same 4 suits. And yeah, women, we should probably fix it. We should probably say, hey, we're wearing the same 6 dresses for the next 8 events. But that's not how that works. Even if you have a stylist and then you they lend you the dress, but then you get it tailored to yourself. You basically then own the dress and then you can never wear it again. Like the dress I wore for the Oscars last year was white, so I'm going to dye it so that I can wear it to like a friend's wedding or something. It all feels very wasteful. So just know that when you're budgeting, you don't need the fanciest shit. Live comfortably and knowing that you got a little money in your back pocket and take all those female founder books and that's where you're going to hide your cash and you'll be Gucci good to go. That's all you need to know. And you know what? Quit going to fucking brunches. If you don't like brunch in the first place, brunches can get expensive. You know where you need to be going? The happy hours. Because you know what happens at the happy hours? 2 for 1. Half off booze. You know who else is at happy hours? Single men who can then also pick up the tab if you flirt a little. Hello? Another way to budget, happy hours. Bring back the happy hour. I miss it. I'd give anything right now for a boneless buffalo wing, some sort of olive tapenade, and a 2-for-1 white wine. That is a perfect evening. You have a couple snacks, even if you want to go to a dinner afterwards. You've already gotten a little liquored up, so by the time you get to dinner, it's one martini, a steak, and you're hitting the hay. And then you know what you save on? Prescription pills. You don't need to get the trazodone. You don't need the Ambien because you already put yourself in a food coma from eating cheaply at the happy hour, and then you only needed one drink at the dinner. See, that's how you do big girl budgeting. And you said big girl. I don't know if you meant you're a big girl size-wise or if you're just like getting older. You're like, hey, I'm a big girl. I'm a grown woman. I think it's probably a grown woman, but I'm actually a big girl. So I'm letting you know if you're trying to save on food, you do the happy hours. And dude, if you live in Florida, some of the happy hours, because the older dudes are out at these happy hours, you go to a 4:30 happy hour at a nice steakhouse. You're having a wedge salad at Crab Claws and dollar oysters and sometimes like $2 martinis. You spent $11.50, including tip, and you walked out of there full and a little frisky. So I'm just saying, instead of wasting our time at brunches, get your ass to a happy hour. And I don't want to discourage any of my fellow restaurant owners who own breakfast spots. Breakfast is different. The brunch with the unlimited mimosas and the DJ is actually my 7th layer of hell. But a happy hour with the DJ at 7 p.m. and a plethora of very savory bites, jalapeno poppers, buffalo wings, some sort of spinach dip, maybe a tuna tartare, maybe some sort of stuffed egg roll of the sorts. A Southwest egg roll, fuck me up. And then I get 2-for-1 white wines. Roll me up, put a bow on me, and shove me in the river because I peaked. Nothing is better than that. So how to do big girl budgeting, whether you're a big girl or just getting older and want to be responsible, hit that happy hour. Find those older men. You know what I mean? Show them a little ankle. And the next thing you know, girl, you're eating for free. Period. And that's why we voted this week. Listen, at this point, we always got to be 3 steps ahead of them. And you know that. Period. I am going to wrap up this episode, but I love you. I mean it. And I hope that we are back to giggling and I get to see your faces on the road. I'm so excited about adding these new tour dates. I'm so excited for getting back on the road. And, I couldn't sit down. I can't talk. I couldn't sit at home for too long. I thought I was going to take the whole fall off. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take some time for me. I miss giggling with y'all. But we will be announcing all the new tour dates very soon. So please keep an eye out for that. And again, only a few cabins left for the cruise. The cruise is going to be out of control. I am so excited for that. But listen, the holidays are coming up. We have a lot to discuss. I need y'all to start sending in your absolutely nots for Thanksgiving. I know we have a lot of Thanksgiving anxiety coming up. Let me know what your Christmas absolutely not. I cannot talk. Let me know what your Christmas absolutely nots are. We will be doing a whole special episode dedicated to the holidays. So start sending those in. As always, you can call in 800-213-7503. I love you. I mean it. And I will see you on the next episode of the Absolutely Not podcast. Ciao, Bella. Arrivederci.